Welcome back to the channel. Errol Spence Jr. has activated his rematch clause to fight Bud Crawford again after a thorough beatdown last month. Translation, Errol Spence has decided he's going to get beat down by Bud Crawford once again. I'm assuming the rematch will come at 154 pounds, as both fighters have said their days at 147 are over. Now the belts at 147 will likely become vacant. We'll get movement in that division between the younger guys. And 154 is becoming a hotbed of names as Errol and Bud will move up. Virgil Ortiz also moving up to 154. Tim Tszyu is there. So we have some action in that division. And we'll see if Mel Charlo moves down to 154 after his fight with Canelo. So this is going to halt any talks of a dream matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford that were floating out there. And this also highlights once again rematch clauses and why they're a plague in boxing. Is anybody really calling for a rematch here other than Errol Spence's team and his fanatical fanboys who just have no sense of reality? And haven't realized that not only is Bud Crawford the better fighter, he's a much better fighter than Errol Spence Jr. This fight can happen at any weight, wherever they want to have it, whatever the ring size, glove size. Bud Crawford can agree to fight in conventional instead of southpaw the whole fight. It won't matter. Bud Crawford will still knock out Errol Spence Jr. He is the much better fighter. The first fight did around 650,000 pay-per-view buys, so they say, which for the fight of the century as this was being billed, that's a little bit of a letdown, although financially they did make money off of the fight. I can't imagine a rematch will do anywhere close to that, as there won't be the demand of a second fight that there was in the first fight. It's just not believable that Errol Spence Jr. will make proper adjustments and do any better against Bud Crawford than he did in the first fight. There were just much better fights, much better matchups for both fighters going forward, particularly Bud Crawford. A fight with Canelo Alvarez, which would have been the biggest fight in the sport, despite being 3 weight classes apart. On top of that, Tim Tszyu. A possible fight with Mel Charlo, whether Mel Charlo loses or wins against Canelo Alvarez. This is a growing trend in boxing. We get rematches of fights we don't need to see again. And then the fights that we want to see again, Vasily Lomachenko, Devin Haney, for instance, we can't see again. But one thing's for certain, both fighters will be paid handsomely for this rematch. And Bud Crawford's fans will have a lot of fun at the expense of Errol Spence's fans once again. Looks like this one-sided rivalry will continue.